A single headline can travel faster than truth itself, and when it does, it can reshape how millions of people see a familiar face. That's exactly what happened when a shocking claim about Shelley Long began circulating online, pulling attention in a direction that felt more like rumor than reality. But before you believe what you've seen in a thumbnail or a sensational caption, there's a deeper story waiting underneath, one that reveals how easily fame can be distorted in the digital age. The promise behind the story is not about shock, but about understanding how a respected Hollywood actress found her name attached to headlines designed to grab attention at any cost. Shelley Long, best known for her unforgettable role as Diane Chambers on Cheers, built a career rooted in charm, intelligence, and emotional depth. So when misleading narratives like this spread, they don't just spark curiosity, they raise an important question. How do we get to a point where a single misleading post can overshadow decades of real achievement? To understand the impact, you have to go back to the height of Shelley Long's fame. In the 1980s, she wasn't just another sitcom star. She was a cultural presence. Her performance on Cheers earned her critical acclaim, awards recognition, and a place in television history. She later transitioned into film, balancing comedy and drama, while also choosing family life over the relentless pressure of Hollywood stardom. That decision alone set her apart in an industry that often demands constant visibility. But fame has a long memory, and the internet has an even longer reach. As years passed, Shelley Long became less visible in mainstream entertainment, which often leads to something unfortunate in today's media cycle. Speculation fills the silence. Old photos resurface, headlines get twisted, and context disappears. What remains is a distorted version of reality that spreads faster than corrections ever can. This is where the emotional conflict begins, because behind every viral claim is a real person who has lived an entire life beyond the screen. Imagine building decades of work, only to have your name suddenly reduced to a sensational phrase designed for clicks. How would that feel? For many public figures, this is the hidden cost of fame in the digital era, where privacy becomes fragile and reputation can be reshaped in hours. In Shelley Long's case, there is no verified truth behind the sensational claims being shared. Instead, what exists is a pattern we've seen repeatedly across Hollywood: aging actresses, once adored and celebrated, becoming targets of misleading narratives that feed curiosity rather than truth. And while audiences may click out of shock, the emotional consequence often goes unnoticed. The real turning point in this story isn't the rumor itself, but what it reveals about us as viewers. Why are we drawn to extreme headlines? Why does shock travel faster than respect? These questions matter because they shape the kind of media environment we all participate in, whether we realize it or not. And perhaps the most powerful lesson here is simple but uncomfortable. Not everything you see is meant to inform you. Some things are designed only to capture your attention. Shelley Long's legacy was never defined by headlines like this, but by the work that made audiences laugh, think, and connect for decades. In the end, the truth becomes clear. Fame fades, rumors come and go, but integrity and contribution remain far longer than any viral claim. And maybe the real challenge for all of us is learning to pause before we believe the loudest story in the room, especially when it overshadows a lifetime of real achievement.